This also holds good if, for material qualities, any of the four mental aggregates be substituted. Section 13. This also holds good if, for material qualities, any of the four mental aggregates be substituted. For instance, if you admit that consciousness in the past formed my aggregate, sense organs and objects, or elements all of which you would call real, then you must also admit that past consciousness exists. Section 12. Similarly, if you admit that future consciousness will form my aggregate, etc., you must also admit that future consciousness exists. Again, if you admit that present consciousness forms my aggregate with other factors, and that the present exists, you must also admit that my past consciousness, consisting in aggregate, sense organ, and the rest, exists. So again for future consciousness. Section 17. Once more, if you declare of past consciousness existing as an aggregate, and the rest, that consciousness does not exist, then you must admit that present consciousness, existing as an aggregate, does not exist. Similarly as to future consciousness. Section 19. Theravadin. Is it then wrong to say that my past and my future consisting in aggregates, elements, sense organs and objects, do not exist? Opponent. Yes. Theravadin. But was it not said by the Exalted One? These three modes in word, in term, or in name, bhikkhus, which are, and were, formerly held distinct, are not mixed, will not be confused, are not condemned by recluses and Brahmins who are wise. Which three? Those aggregates, material and mental, which are past, have ceased, are changed, are reckoned, termed, named, have been. They are not reckoned as, are, nor yet as, will be. Similarly, for those aggregates that, will be, and for those that, are. Is the Suttanta thus? Then it should surely be said that my past and future consisting in aggregates, elements, sense organs and objects, exist. Section 20. Opponent. But was it not said by the Exalted One? Whatsoever material qualities, bhikkhus, whether past, future, or present, are either internal or external, gross or subtle, common or excellent, distant or near, are called the material aggregate. Whatsoever feeling, or other mental aggregate, whether past, etc. Question mark. Is the Suttanta thus? Theravadin. Yes. Opponent. Hence it should certainly not be said that my past and future consisting in aggregates, etc. do not exist. Points of controversy. 1.8 of some of the past and future as still existing. Controverted point. That some of the past exists, some does not. Some of the future exists, some does not. Section 1. Theravadin. Does the past exist? Some of it exists, you reply, some does not exist. You must then admit, in equivalent terms, that some of it has ceased, departed, passed away, utterly passed away. Some of it has not ceased, departed, passed away, utterly passed away. Yet you deny this. Section 2. You must also admit, more specifically, that of past things of which the results are not yet matured some are existent. Some not. You deny this, and that of past things of which the results are matured, some are existent, some not. You deny this. Further, that of things which are without result, some exist, some do not. This also you deny. Section 3 again, referring to your declaration that the past exists in part, which of the past exists, which not? Kasapika. Those past things of which the effect is not matured exist. Those past things of which the effect is matured do not. Theravadin. But if you admit the existence of the former part, you must also admit the existence of the latter part, and also the existence of those past things that are without effect. Again, if those past things of which the effect is matured are non-existent, no less are those past things of which the effect is not matured existent, as well as those things which are without effect. Once more, you say, those past things the effect of which is not matured exist, but might not such past things be said to have ceased? You admit this? But you cannot say that a thing both is and has ceased. Section 4. Do you contend that those past things, the effect of which is not yet matured, but which have ceased, exist? Then must you also admit that those past things, the effect of which is matured and which have ceased, exist, as well as those past things which are without effect, that these, too, exist. If, on the other hand, you say that those past things, the effect of which is matured, and which have ceased, do not exist, then must you also admit that those past things, the effect of which is not yet matured, and which have ceased, do not exist, contradicting what you have previously affirmed, as well as those things which are without effect. Or do those past things, the effect of which is not yet matured, but which have ceased, exist? And are those past things, the effect of which is matured, but which have ceased, non-existent? Then you hereby affirm also that some of those past things, the effect of which is in part matured, and in part not yet matured, but which have ceased, exist, while some do not exist, which you deny. Section 5. Kasapika. Is it then wrong to say those past things, the effect of which is not yet matured, exist? Theravadin. Yes. Kasapika. Is it not a fact that past things, the effect of which is not yet matured, will become mature as to effect? Theravadin. Yes. Kasapika. If that be so, then it is surely not wrong to say that past things yet immature in their effect exist. Theravadin. Granting that such past things will become mature as to their effect, can they be said to exist? Yes, you say. But granting that they will in this respect mature, can they be said to be present? If you admit this, then, granting that present things will perish, are they non-existent? Section 6. To the question, does the future exist? You reply, some of it exists, some does not. You must then admit in equivalent terms that some of it is born, produced, has happened, appeared, some of it not. Yet you deny this. Granting your declaration, do some things that have been inevitably determined exist, and some not? You are committed to this, and also to this. That some future things which are not inevitably determined exist, and some not. Section 7. Referring to your declaration. Which of the future exists, which does not exist? You reply. Those future things which are inevitably determined exist, those that are not so determined do not. You deny then that those future things not inevitably determined do exist, though you are really committed to this by the former half of your reply. Again, if future things not inevitably determined are non-existent, then also future things which are inevitably determined are also non-existent. With regard to those future things inevitably determined which you say exist, would you not admit that such future things have not been born? Yes? Then how can you say that things not yet born exist? Or, if inevitably determined future things, which are not yet born, do exist, then future things not so determined, which are not yet born, exist. Or again, if future things not inevitably determined, which are not yet born, are non-existent, then you must say no less of similar but inevitably determined things. Section 9. Kasapika. Then is it wrong to say those future things which are inevitably determined exist?